Up next, we got Jesse Lee Peterson. You know what time it is. Let's get it.
Exists.
Absolutely.
It does.
Absolutely.
And where's the proof of that?
All around. I tell people often now, in hindsight, one of the things that I wish I would have been more cognizant of was the white privilege at UCLA that was sitting, right next to me. For Black people, I believe white privilege is something to leverage.
What is it, though? I don't see it anywhere. What is it?
Huh?
What is it?
How don't you
For
not
people
see
like
white
me who
privilege?
don't see it.
How do you not see white privilege?
Because it doesn't exist. That's
Yes,
what
it does.
So what is it exactly?
I believe white privilege is just the ability just to be free and white and not have the same type of social, economic, and social ills as Black people have to deal with. I mean, there's no white racial profiling. White people don't get pulled over by the cops just because they're white. They have the ability to, show emotion and love to their sons without being emasculated. There's all kind of examples of white privilege.
That you believe
Absolutely. Why don't you Black? How come you don't believe white privilege exists? What you see?
He says amazing that you. Wow. Even I'm like, wow. It's like almost like she was programmed to believe these things. Didn't she just say she's in UCLA? Isn't that college? So you in college? That's called opportunity that you were given. Where's all this racism? I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of poor white people. I've seen poor white people. I go to the 7-Eleven, and there's a few poor white people out there that ask me for change and stuff like that, asking me, the Black man, for change. That's supposed to be the other way around, isn't it? Well, I don't know where they get this stuff from. I got Black parents that they told me about racism, but not to the extent where it's like everywhere you look is somebody racist. They give me the awareness of it. But it's almost like she believed, like, if racism was so bad, how come you got opportunity to be in college? Hey, it's mind-blowing to see people actually believe this deeply about that stuff. When she said pull over by the police, I have been driving for almost 19 years. I've only been pulled over by the police 4 times. And I drove some nice cars. I got a nice truck. 4 times. and where I live and where I work at, it's a lot of white people. A lot of white cops for that instant. And I barely got even pulled over. It's amazing how they actually believe this stuff.
Well, because I am Black in color, but I don't have that dark mentality that most Black people have.
Clearly.
I see, she said clearly, I see that white people have the same struggles and things that we have in that
What type of
they have
struggles
to
do they
make their
have?
marriages work. They have to make their children, help their kids grow up in the right way so that they can earn a living and be independent.
But they also have the majority of
They
their
make
fathers
kids,
at home.
Right,
We don't
and the
have-
reason for that, it's starting to change somewhat now, but the reason for that is because they are taking responsibility for that, whereas Black men and women are not taking responsibility for that, as they did prior to the Civil Rights Movement. Black people are blaming it on their lack of self-control and self-containment. They're blaming it on white people, while white people are working hard to keep it going.
I do
for
believe
themselves.
that there is a need for Black people to be held more accountable.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that doesn't excuse racism, that doesn't excuse institutionalized racism, that doesn't excuse...
But there's no
that,
such thing
yes,
as that.
yes,
It's
it
an illusion
is.
made
No,
up
it's
by
not.
Black people and
No,
their
it's
leaders.
not. No, it's not. It exists.
Well,
Sorry.
where's the proof of it, though?
What do you mean, where's the proof of it?
There are many kids who are getting into, Black kids who are allowed to get into these universities around the country, right, based on affirmative action. And because of affirmative action based on their color. That's discrimination based on color, and that's wrong. And these kids are getting in, but they're not earning their way. So when they fail, they feel less than before they were allowed to get in based on color.
I'm a proud product of affirmative action. When I went to UCLA, it was because I was an affirmative action student.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And I think I turned out fantastic. So a lot of my peers who were having challenges getting into some of these predominantly white institutions, the affirmative action was great. My father went to Harvard. He was one of very few Blacks.
Was he affirmative action?
I don't know if he was. That was back in the late 60s.
Well, then he wasn't. He earned his way.
So
I was supposed to say that, especially back then, in the 60s, 50s. Yeah, you have to earn that. You have to work really hard just to get into those doors. And then she just said her dad went to Harvard. Her dad went to Harvard. She went to UCLA. Where is her struggles? We know she worked hard to get in there. Her dad worked hard to get in there. You worked hard and you got it. Same for a regular black person. You work hard, you will get those. It's not going to be handed to you. Everything you have to work for things that you want to get earned in life. A lot of black people don't see it that way. They want to give it to them like right away. They don't want to take the ladder of success like step by step by step. They don't want to do that. They want it right here and now. And that's the problem. Everything is patient. You got to have patience. That's why you see them doing the robbing, the drug dealing, the stealing, the muggings, the carjacking. They want money right then and there. I'm watching these kids at 16, 17, 15, maybe 13 years old, trying to rob. I saw some guy had his car parked, and he went inside to get gas. He forgot to lock the door, and he had just came out, and some kid tried to hop inside his car. He pulled his gun out, aimed it right at the car. Kid, I think he was 14 years old. Kid came out of the car. The guy snatched him up like this. He put the gun back in his wrist, give him a speech talk. You say, I could have ended your life right here. I could have ended your life at 14 years old right here. He said, go home. I don't ever want to see you again. Go home. Kid ran off. 14 years old. See, come on, man. Where's the racism in that? But she did say we got to take accountability, so I give her credit on that.
So, that being said, I still believe that affirmative action helped me get into UCLA, and it gave me access.
You would
and
not
exposure.
have gotten in there on your own because you were not smart enough?
I don't know if I wasn't smart enough, but based on the curve and what I was competing with other individuals who had different educational opportunities and teachers. I mean, I'm coming from, the LA Unified School District. I mean, so at the time, I think LAUSD was still pretty good. But I went to all white schools from high school up through college.
So you got a good education. Why couldn't you get into the school based on your own talents?
I don't know. Maybe because I didn't have some of the opportunity.
But you had the opportunity.
First of all,
you had the same opportunity
SAT,
those white kids were having.
Not necessarily. I had different teachers. I had different
resources. So you
resources.
went to a white integrated school.
I'm talking about going into these other into UCLA. I still had to be able to deal with some of the issues and going to predominantly white schools.
Like
but
what?
I still had to be able to compete.
Like what?
What do you mean, like what?
Some of the issues going to a predominantly
I would graduate from University High School, and at the time they didn't have an African American student union. An African American
student union
at the school.
Well, that's a good thing.
They didn't have one.
That's a good thing.
Why?
Why do you need something like that?
They have Asian student unions. They have Jewish student unions. They have all kind of different.
Did they have white
unions.
student union?
They need student union. They own the whole school. So
but the kids didn't own the school. The kids didn't.
But I'm saying there's nothing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with having a segregated, population of students who just want to study together or work together or to be able to.
Would you be in support of a white student union?
Yeah, of course.
It would be okay with you?
Yeah, why not?
But most blacks don't feel that way.
I think all cultures should be able to segregate and to be able to work within their cultures and network within their own cultures. Absolutely.
Does racism exist?
I believe racism does exist.
And where's the proof of that?
You just see it all over in the country. With proof of it. In terms
what
of just
what do I see?
Disproportionate in the economics with black people.
But that has nothing to do with racism.
It does. Racism is about power. It's about who's in control. And black people can't be racist because we're not in control. We're not in control of the educational system, some of the social organizations and things that run this country. We're not in control. Racism is about power.
But you would be in control of your own life if you had good parents, if they taught you how to be independent, if they taught you how to build, how to take care of. I've noticed that the reason I left where I lived over there in the Crenshaw district is that once the white people left, because once I moved there, when I first moved there, it was mostly whites. But once they left, as they did in Gary, Indiana, and other places, the blacks turned it into a ghetto. A beautiful area went to hell in a handbasket, so I got out. But if blacks had more character and they were taking care of themselves and being responsible and buying land and teaching their children,
that has to be taught.
Then so that has nothing to do with racism.
But that has to, of course, that has to be taught.
So it's not racism. It's not white people's fault that you're not teaching your children to do that.
No, but it's not. The parents don't know.
They
If the
don't know.
parents, if, so-
But
if
that's
the,
not
if the
white
parents
people's
don't
fault,
know, but if they go into some of these institutions, these predominantly white institutions, they are targeted. They don't have the same opportunities because of their color. It's true. I mean,
So then why go in there then? Why not go to all black school if you
some
feel
people do
that?
choose to do that.
I'm sorry?
Some people do choose. That's
But
why
why
they.
you see a lot of these black kids going to these white universities, and then they force their way in by saying, I need affirmative action. Once they get in, now they crying racism. Why do you want to force your way in with the people you think are your enemies, and you're still complaining once you get there?
I don't think people are forcing their way. Does
They are.
affirmative action even
Affirmative action
exist?
is forced based on color.
Does affirmative action even exist? Are people getting in based on affirmative action?
Yes.
Today,
Otherwise, they wouldn't be there.
The way Trump has it down, he's just leveled the playing field. So it is going to have to be more about being able to be competitive.
Hallelujah.
Oh man, that was an interesting conversation. You know, she's still on point. She's on point with a lot of things that she's saying, but a lot of things that she is saying, it's a little out there. But like the way he just broke it down and said, yes, because if you believe so much in racism, right? You believe in it so much. Why do a lot of rich or, black people who could afford a certain type of living move into white neighborhoods? I never seem to get that. Like I saw this lady, I forgot her name, she's a comedian, black lady, and she talks about racism and all that type of stuff she says. But when you look up where she lives in a white neighborhood, 90% white, in a $2.something million home. This is the hypocrisy I don't get. Like they'll cry all this racism instead of teaching the young black kids that's coming up to work hard, to be successful, and you could have the lifestyle that I have. You don't have to do crimes. You don't have to go rob. You don't have to be in a gang. You can live this life and live it comfortably. They don't preach like that. Like, I'm going to say it one more time. D.A. Hughley. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys probably know who that is. He pushes this narrative like she talks about. He pushes a narrative of just black and white, black and white, black and white. He don't push a narrative of black on black crimes and black people to take accountability. They don't push that. And I'm looking at D.A. Hughley, I'm like, dude, you a millionaire. You living in a mansion. You living in a comfortable life. Where is this racism? Where are you being held down? Where are you being oppressed? This is how you know they have to push an agenda. Look at Black Lives Matter, man. I'm gonna leave you guys with that, man. Look at Black Lives Matter. They keep talking about George Floyd and the racism and the police department. Where do they live? Black Lives Matter. Where did they buy all their mansions? Give you a minute. All right, that's the time, sir. White neighborhood. And people don't see that? You're not telling like black. Wait. You're telling us for racism. Why are you moving into these white neighborhoods? People don't question. People don't question this. This is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But some black people are waking up to the hypocrisy and the nonsense and the shenanigans. A lot of people are waking up to that. So hopefully we get over this stupidity. We know racism does exist, but it don't exist to the point where we can't live our lives freely. They don't want to go move into the black neighborhoods because they know the gangs, the violence, the robbings, the murders. They know. But they don't talk about that. They only talk about the black and white. Total hypocrisy, man. Give me you guys think about this in the comments. I like certain things that she said, and certain things that she said was just, I don't know where she get those ideas from. It definitely, she was taught that. She was taught those type of thoughts. From growing up, from her dad being in Harvard, he worked, he had to work hard to get in there. She in UCLA, she got opportunities. So it's not all racism. I don't know why black people like to use it as an scapegoat. A lot of things that they do is that they want to have the excuse to do violence and do crimes without being accountable. You guys see what's going on in LA and California right now with the smash and grab. Ever since 2020 with George Floyd with all the protests. Ever since that, now you're seeing smash and grabs. Is a whole and LA right now. You don't want to get it. You don't want to go to certain parts of LA right now. You don't want to go. But that's what I'm saying. Black people, when we're given an opportunity to show we could do better, not all of us, but the majority of them choose to do worse. So you're not proving that we are better in no type, way, shape, or form. You smash into stores that's in your neighborhood that you pay taxes for, the regular hardworking black people. You smash yourself, you destroy the store. Then the next morning, our mother got to get up. She wants to run to 7-Eleven real quick to get some milk or something. She can't get it. Why? Because you and a whole bunch of people choose to go in there and destroy the whole store. Now, how does that help your community? I'm going to leave you guys with that, man. Until then, I'll catch you guys in this video. Peace out. Have a blessed. Let's get it.